The federal government has said that consumers can sell excess solar power to the discos. Let's discuss the possibility of that now with the Managing Director and Chief Technical Officer, Technician Officer, which of them?
Chief Technical Officer.
Technical Officer of Dalex Integrated System Limited, Mr. DJ Ajayi. Mr. Ajayi, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Great.
It's nice having me.
So what's the possibility of this thing?
It's still part of the making the energy environment more, especially the green energy economy, more viable. This particular regime has helped in making a whole lot of awareness, of which there have been a lot of adoption with regards to solar energy in the last 3-4 years. However, this framework that NEC is proposing are still at the early stage. There are still a lot of gray areas that needs to be taken care of, and I believe it's an adoption that would encourage bigger players to come into an industry and also attract more investment. One of the key aspects of this is the solar energy industry, as it were, is highly capital intensive. So a whole lot of investment has not come in that direction. So with this, it will help. But then there are some frameworks that need to be in place.
What framework do you think? Because I hear that local players in the industry now, we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago, that some foreigners seem to be taking over the profiting and the running of the industry.
You can say that again. I had the opportunity of speaking with a few people that I consider stakeholders that have the hearing of the government. Within the next few years, maybe four years from now on, most integrators that they consider themselves an SME integrators in the solar energy will become probably tradesmen, because I wouldn't like to mention where the importation of most of the equipment are coming from. They are coming to play in the market space, even to us going forward as installing. So there are a lot of things that needs to go in place. With this next, let's go back to the main conversation of net metering. It's a good idea, but our environment, I don't think is ready for that, because the discos, for instance, they're going to create a whole lot of resistance to the success of such things. But as conversation goes on, things might begin to ease up. With the industry, the government needs to protect the local players. Currently, they are allowing a whole lot of shenanigans to happen in there, and they need to bring in some kind of level of protection to the small-scale industries and to the manufacturers, as it were. Thank you.
So when you said they need to protect, and you talked about framework at the beginning, and you also talked about competition from the discos.
Yes.
Could you give us an idea of what kind of framework can capture these risks, you understand, and make it workable, especially for the small businesses in the industry? Because we have mostly small businesses in every sector of Nigeria anyway, not just in the energy mix. Okay,
so for the discos, I'm not sure they are ready for this. They are just coming from an era of where they are clamoring for funding and for investment. Now, the net metering requires them to have smarter grid, requires them to have smarter meters, requires them to put in, improve on their feeders. Currently now, some regions, some areas, their feeders cannot accommodate the energy required by the customers, as it were. Now, they need the kind of investment that will allow them upgrade their own infrastructure to be able to accommodate these smarter meters, because not all players, not all consumers that they are now terming as consumers, that is people that are now selling energy back to the grid, will be able to benefit from this. And because you have a larger installations around less than 50 kilowatts, the benchmark is 50 kilowatts to 1.5 megawatts. There are a lot of things you need to put in place to make this happen. And I don't think that will be a thing that, it's a good idea, but I'm not sure we're prepared for it.
Okay, so the other issues, how do we get a framework to protect the local players? What kind of framework would work? That
comes from Rural Electrification Agency, which is the body that looks after everything that has to do with renewable energy in Nigeria, and policy players that will ensure that the registered integrators are protected from the influx of the other players in outside Nigeria. At least there must be some roles that should not be occupied by players outside the Nigerian region. We believe so much that there's a larger opportunity here. We have the skill set, we have the know-how, we have the brains. So why import that when, if we don't have the machinery, but let us use our brains? So that's the idea.
But now even those brains are being threatened by foreigners. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
That's really unfortunate. We'll try and get to the Rural Electrification Agency, and we do hope we can get response so that we can table this before them. Yes, now, there's a new law which empowers states, you understand, to work with the private sector to generate, distribute. Yeah. You are in Lagos.
Yes.
Does that seem like it's going anywhere?
As you know, our national grid, it's obsolete, I will say it that way, but they are doing some upgrade on it. A whole lot of infrastructures. Some discos, I know of Ikeja Electric, they are, improving some of their feeders, they're improving some of their substations, they're improving other areas. For instance, while some of these policies might look good on the book, but implementation might be a concern, you have a whole lot of gencos trying to offload power to the discos, but the discos cannot absorb it. One, it's not like they don't have the market. They have the market, but the market itself requires some level of smart grid infrastructure.
Can't the state governments come in, working with the private sector? Can't they come into that space?
Okay.
So we are not all looking at the. I mean, we know how many collapses we've had on the grid.
Yes. And I know Lagos State government is working in this direction. They recently introduced some players that going forward, as a matter of fact, they are having some conversation that they want to remove subsidy on the electricity for Lagos State, because part of the shortcomings or part of the challenges the discos are having majorly is on funding. And for funding, the investors are interested in knowing that how quickly can they recover their investable funds. Now, the market, it might interest you to know, as much as we are crying that it's expensive, to some players, they feel that we're still part of the cheapest.
Is it because of electricity theft? Perhaps some people who should be paying are not paying, so the burden becomes too much on those paying. Is that a possible scenario?
That's a possible scenario. And one of the reasons why a smarter grid will enable protection on this, because you can see the discos are introducing regional transformer metering system for them to be able to capture what they have offload and the billing that has come back, to be able to do their plus and minus and know the difference in what is required. So this is part of what they need to show their investors, to say, we have this capacity, but we cannot meet up with this capacity because, one, our infrastructure is not there, or two, if we can get this kind of investment, we can protect ourselves from this energy theft, because you have to leverage on technology and machine to be able to prevent this energy theft.
All right, thank you so much. But we are really worried, about that, the local players being,
it's something that the
overtaken
government
by the foreigners. I mean, this is a country, as you said, if we have the brains and talents and the personnel, can we at least use what we have and then import what we do not have?
Yes, it's something the government needs to look into. The government has really adopted solar energy and has really promoted it, as it were.
But they're not looking into the workings of
I don't think they're looking at the protection yet. And I think they need to look at that.
All right, we'll try and get the attention on this. Thank you so much, Mr. Deji Ajayi, Managing Director and Chief Technical Officer, Dalex Integrated System Limited.
Thank you so much. Thank you.